cerebral cortex and what their different functions are. You can see we have a side lateral view of the brain. Remember that the main components will be the cerebrum, which is that colored portion. This makes up the majority of the brain. And the other components include the cerebellum and brainstem. We're going to focus on the cerebrum today, and there will be future EasyMed videos that go in more detail about the cerebellum and brainstem. The cerebrum is the largest part of the brain, and it's divided into the right and left hemisphere. The deep groove that divides the two hemispheres is known as the longitudinal fissure. And the two hemispheres are connected by what's called the corpus callosum, and this is how the two hemispheres can interact and communicate with each other. We'll see some more pictures of the corpus callosum later on in this video. The cerebrum has many different functions, and we're going to be talking about these functions as we go through each lobe, so you don't have to memorize them right now. But the overall concept is that the cerebrum will be involved with executive functioning such as problem solving and judgment. It's also going to have motor and sensory components. Again, we're going to go in more detail about all these functions as we walk through each lobe. But first, there's a couple more anatomical features to point out when looking at the overall structure of the cerebrum. As you can tell, the cerebrum has a lot of different functions, and in order to execute all of these different functions, it needs to increase its surface area within the cranium or skull. And it does this by having a folded structure. Well, this folded structure creates peaks that are called gyri and grooves that are called sulci. The singular is gyrus and sulcus. This becomes important because there's specific gyri and sulci that matter when we talk about the anatomy and different functions of these lobes. So what are the different lobes of the cerebrum, and what exactly is the cerebral cortex? The cerebrum is made up of an outer layer of gray matter known as the cerebral cortex, and this surrounds the inner layer of white matter. The cerebral cortex can be divided into four main lobes. The lobe in the front of the brain that you can see in blue is called the frontal lobe. The lobe in yellow, which is posterior to the frontal lobe, is the parietal lobe. The lobe in the back of the brain is known as the occipital lobe, and the one in green is known as the temporal lobe. These different lobes are named after the cranial bones that overlie them. If you want more information on the anatomy of the cranial bones, make sure to check out the EasyMed video that goes over the anatomy of the